And so, as I was saying, I guess maybe I should probably make another video about a certain other topic soon. Wait a second, let's just check on YouTube. Oh my gosh. I have to complete an event? And I haven't even heard about it until the last day before the event ends. So you're telling me that I'm gonna have to complete 5 Roblox games in one day? Well, at least I'm gonna earn free UGC from it, right? It's not in stock? What do you mean the UGC is not in stock? Was I too late for this event? In fact, is it even worth playing the event at all if all I get at the end is bragging rights? Well, I guess I could maybe try playing the games, but, yeah, just for completion's sake. And I also want to warm up for maybe the next Roblox event in the future. Yes, I will be 100%ing it. Well, I think I'm gonna try to play the first game up there, which is, Oh, wait. Before this, I'm gonna first explain how I'm going to be explaining each game. First, I'm going to be explaining the games based off of, 1, my experience with them, and 2, my ultimate review with them. I'm going to be giving it both a difficulty score, a quality score, and also of how long exactly I took to complete the game for that event. If a game gets a 5 out of 10 or higher, then I would consider this as a good event. If it has a 4 out of 10 or lower on the event and quality-wise, then it's basically a flop. And by the end of this, I'm going to be giving an ultimate ranking off of what an average game in this type of event will be, as a way for me to warn about the next big Roblox event, which, yes, I will be 100%ing. Maybe, I don't know. Can you repeat the question? But anyways, I'm going to be now starting off with our first game, which is... I'm gonna get you! Now, starting with is basically Escape the Pizzeria game. So, this is going to set precedent for the other games in this event. What you have to do is you have to collect 10 different collectibles. They can be hidden throughout the map, and my goal is to just find all 10 and return back to the officer. There is also this chase sequence in which the pizzeria guy tries to catch you. By the way, in the entire game, Dogman also follows you in the quest. After finding a few more collectibles, we get to our second chase sequence, which is a lot harder than the first. There's this pretty fun conveyor stage that I liked as well. A few minutes later, and I made it towards the last stage, which is a third and final chase sequence. Technically, I could just leave the game and rejoin again, because I found all 10 collectibles, but I decided to complete the game, and the third sequence was definitely really hard. I died to it quite a few times, just because of how unforgiving the AI is later on. After winning the game, I went back to rejoining the game, and what I got back was... yeah, that was pretty anticlimactic. Now let's get into the rating right about here. So I'm gonna be giving this game a 3 out of 10 because it doesn't really change that much from the base game itself. Difficulty, though, I'm still gonna keep as the usual difficulty for this game. And length, it's basically the same length for the game as well. Well, now I guess we're gonna go to our second game, which is...
Hi, I'm Barry, and this is my prison run!
To continue off, we're gonna go to Barry's prison run, in which, it's still the same objective as before, collect 10 different objects and then return back towards the police officer to get the badge. And the UGC is also out of stock. What a complete surprise! And yes, that is sarcasm. But anyways, I think I actually kind of like Barry's prison run, but I actually decided to go into hard mode because these easy mode would sound like it would be too easy for an event. And boy was I mistaken, because hard mode is extremely unforgiving. There are some mechanics that I basically didn't really know until a few minutes after that. So it's gonna get a higher difficulty score for me than the pizzeria game. One example of this was in the dungeon where I was literally scrambling on how I was supposed to get to the other side until I realized that not until a few minutes in that I saw that the chains are actually ladders and you need to dash off of them. Furthermore, later on in that same stage, I didn't know how to get across, and so I realized I had to just cross above, which it could have been communicated a lot better. A sign does help, but yeah, it definitely needs a clarification as if you're not supposed to go there, you're supposed to climb up. There's also the speedrun section that I liked as well. It was a little bit random, but it was a really good breath of fresh air from, learning new mechanics. And then we go towards a boss fight, in which the boss fight is actually pretty creative by using a food blaster instead of just striking him with the wrench. Then there's this brutal section where I had to take 3 different planks and cross them across and get them across the bridge. This took way longer than I needed to, and this was single-handedly the hardest part of the obby in my opinion. And I was also really close to actually being done in the game, but then this happened. My game had basically needed a server update, so we had to rejoin the server. And since this is also a shorter obby, this means that it didn't save my progress at all. So I was really scared, trying to come up with at least some sort of solution to this problem. Thankfully, the quest doesn't reset once you leave. So, and plus, the locations in this game also don't get removed. And therefore, I have completed Barry's Prison Run. I'm going to be putting my quality rating, which is a 4 out of 10. Okay. It's probably a very high score for this video because, yeah. The other events just don't have much wiggle room to work with when it comes to hiding collectibles. For difficulty, though, it gets a much higher rating. In my opinion, this is a difficulty of 7 out of 10. And, it's not gonna be nearly as high as one of the games mentioned in the video. And due to the fact that I got stuck in some stages, I had to take 3 minutes to complete the game. But, now let's get on towards the third game, which is the first non-obby game in the event. And that is... Oh my gosh! The floor is lava! Ah! So, I've actually gotten basically a certain feeling that I don't think this game would be that good. You want to know why? Because it's a round-based game. And there are also certain collectibles on very specific maps. At least, I think they are very specific. This drastically lowers the game rating down to a whole lot, in my opinion, for the event. It has actually gotten so bad that I had to make a private server for free, by the way, just to beat this event. And I also definitely would also use a private server for a different game that I was foreshadowing earlier. But enough stalling. So, the goal is to actually find all 8 of these objects in different maps. Despite the whole thing looking very intimidating, it was actually kind of easy for me in my opinion. Especially since I had a private server, so I have more time to look at where this whole thing might be for that one object. And when I actually do map voting, I tend to pick the spots that have a lot of different hiding places so that I can find objects easier. That's partially why I needed a private server. But after all of that, I finally got back to the officer and got the badge for Flora's Lava. Alright, so that was about it for Flora's Lava. I actually kind of enjoyed the game when I got to a private server. I'm actually going to be giving the game's quality a 5 out of 10. Now, you might think a 5 out of 10 is not that high, but it's the highest rating in the entire event, just so you know. Along with that, I'm also going to be giving a difficulty rating of 2 out of 10. It's not that hard at all, and probably one of the easiest games in the event, if not the easiest. But as for length, well, it took me about 30 minutes to complete the event, because I had to do a private server. And that was about it for Flora's Lava. Now, let's get on towards our fourth game, which is a meme game. And that is bruh, na. Now, the game is pretty simple. Don't let the running heads catch you. And yeah, it's a very simple game. It also has a very simple quest where you have to find all 8 of the objects. So it should be good, right? The main gimmick with level 1 is that you need to just escape the running heads. And the first half was without any checkpoints, back when it was a rage game. The main gimmick with level 2 is that you are in a haunted house and that you need to actually escape it. And there are also some maze parts as well. This conveyor part was also incredibly learning as well, because there are a bunch of trolls in that part. Level 3 is basically the same as level 1, except that there are some rainbow blocks in there, so it's not really that much original. But by the time I got to level 4, the third collectible did not save. And in case you're wondering, level 4 is basically like level 2 where you have to escape a place inside. Level 5 actually has a new enemy type though, that it never gets used again. That being the girl head. The girl heads, this time, you can step on them as moving platforms. To compensate, they are a lot faster than the regular heads. Level 6 has you completely in the dark while only using a flashlight as your main source of light. It's another maze level similar to levels 2 and 4. Level 7 actually tries something completely original for this game that wasn't seen in the past 6 levels. That being that you can play in 2D. I know there are some 2D games on Roblox, but there are very few of them out there, so it's kind of a pretty cool concept for a level. And the 8th and final level for the event is essentially snow-themed. I kind of like this as the last level in the event. Sure, there are some other levels other than the first 8, don't get me wrong, but they're not featured in the event, so I'm not going to include them. I also had to go back to find one last collectible until I finally beat the level, which was a lot of work to do. I had to backtrack a whole lot at the game. And then, disaster struck. You see, when I was collecting the item for level 3, and when I got to level 4, the collectible was bugged, and that I did not collect it, even though in the footage I already did. Which means that this event is now impossible to complete, basically, because it was bugged. And I don't even care if that doesn't count as legitimate completion. I'm counting it as one because it was bugged. That means that the quality rating is going to be way lower than the other ones. And that was about it for Escape Running Head. Now I'm going to go off with the quality rating, which is a 1 out of 10. The game was so buggy because one of the objects could not be found, and so the event was impossible. Difficulty-wise, it gets a 4 out of 10. It's not too easy, but not too hard either. But that didn't stop me from taking 45 minutes to complete the game. Okay, I hope this last game is going to be very easy as a very high note to end off the event. Of all the games that was brought into this event, why would you put in a 2-player obby? Alright, let's get it over with. Now let's begin by first explaining of how bad this obby experience even was for me. Now, on my original run of the escape running head game, it took me 45 minutes to complete. Can you guess how long this game took me to complete? Almost 2 hours. The goal was pretty simple. Find 10 collectibles in 10 different levels in this game. This is basically a longer version of the escape running head quest. And there are also so many people that were not cooperating so much that I had to get an alternate account in and play the game on 2 devices using both me and my alt just so I can complete 10 levels for an event. Now I'm gonna go over each of the levels now. Level 1 is a tutorial level that you're seeing right now. It's pretty easy and I didn't really have any problems. Level 2 is a little harder, it's not really that much of a tutorial anymore, but it's still pretty easy for both devices. Again, level 3 is yet another little increase in difficulty, and it's themed around low gravity, which is pretty cool. But level 4 is where I started having some problems, and that is in the color match level. This was the reason why I needed an alt in the first place. Level 5 is themed around push boxes, and it was a one-time thing for the 10 levels I did play, but it was kind of a pretty cool concept. But I ran into an issue with the game, that being that normally when you're supposed to come up here, 2 push boxes are meant to be released, one for the bridge and the other for the truss. But only one of the 2 push boxes were spawned. And so I had to go into a private server just so that I can beat level 5. But hey, at least it worked. And then I finally beaten the 5th level. Now let's get on to level 6, which is a pretty easy level compared to the previous 2. I actually treated level 6 as a break level from levels 4 and 5, in my opinion. Okay, so I'm going to move to the top left corner of the screen because, for some reason the dogs are in the bot on the top right. Don't ask me why. In my opinion, level 7 was also really easy as well. But then level 8 starts to get hard again. Because in level 8, it took a long time to complete because it was a pretty complex puzzle. And after a half hour of playing, I have finally beaten level 8, and now it would be time to get to level 9. Level 9 is also pretty easy compared to level 8, which means that there is one level left that stands between me and the event's completion. And level 10 was also extremely, and I mean extremely difficult. The level is basically, not really that good, and it has barely even been tested. So if level has been untested, then that means that I don't even know if I can even complete an untested level. Until I realized I don't need to beat all 10 levels. I only need to find all 10 collectibles. So I found the 10th and final collectible, and then went and exit here, and then I talked to the officer one more time, and this happened. And that was about it for 2-player teamwork obby. Now, I'm going to be giving a quality rating of a 2 out of 10. It has basically having untested sections. And for difficulty, I'm going to be giving a whopping 10 out of 10 in difficulty. Like, oh my gosh, it is so hard. And for length, I took 2 hours to complete it as well, making it single-handedly the longest quest in the event. But anyways, what did I learn from this? Well, I learned how to complete an event, and that is to grind out those games. And I grinded 5 different Roblox games out. And do you want to know what I got? Absolutely nothing. Because all of the UGC was sold out. But there are 2 good things that I got from this event. 1, so I can put them into this YouTube video. And 2, so that I can have a practice for actual Roblox events in the future. Which, yes, I'm going to be trying to complete as many as I can. One thing I suggest for the event is to not completely hide it. I didn't even know about this event until the last day of its existence. But I guess that's about it for this video. And after all of that, thank you all for watching this video. I will see you in the next video. Hey you, what are you doing here? Wait, what are you doing here? Why are you here? Because, you need to actually see some of the anti-piracy screen videos. Oh, really? Do I have to react to them? Yes, Julian, you do. Okay, can I at least finish my outro? Sure. Okay, then. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!